In this video, we will learn the order of operations. You may have heard the saying, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." That's really good to help students know what order they need to do these operations in. Please begins with P, so that's the parentheses, or any other symbol, so it could also be brackets. That is the first thing that you need to do. Next is your exponents. Then multiplication and division you can do, but you need to do them left to right, just like you would read. And then addition and subtraction is also left to right, but there are some exceptions. So let's use this order of operations to work these 5 problems. So the first one, we need to remember something in order to do it. Remember a to the 5th divided by a to the 2nd? You just subtracted your exponents and you kept the base the same. You will do the same thing with this one, except instead of an a, it's negative 10. So we will rewrite it. Negative 10 to the 5th divided by negative 10 to the 2nd. So we just keep the base, subtract your exponents. So that's minus 10 to the 3rd. So 10 to the 3rd is 1,000, and then we now have 3 negatives, and 3 negatives means it will be a negative answer, so negative 1,000. The second one, we're going to be doing the exponents first, because notice we don't really have any parentheses except for the parentheses around the negative 2. So negative 2 to the 3rd, 2 to the 3rd is 8, and then we have 3 negatives. Then we'll also subtract 28. You multiply the 4 times the 7. Multiplication is next. And then finally, we just have subtraction, but notice we're not really subtracting because the signs are the same. So we're going to add and keep the sign. Then the third step, the very first thing we need to do is the multiplication, which is in the middle. Notice that I went ahead and pulled down the other 2 integers. Now this is where the exception of addition or subtraction left to right. You can do it left to right and you will get the same answer. But I like to put together the ones that have the same sign. So that would give me my minus 2 and my minus 1. That way I will always be adding first, and now I'm going to subtract because the signs are now different. Now number 4. The first thing we will be doing, notice there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. So we're going to be doing our multiplication and division left to right. So the multiplication, we'll have 10 minus the 21. Then our next multiplication, negative 4 times negative 2 gives me a positive. That's what lots of students miss. And then finally, once again, we're to addition and subtraction left to right. But instead of left to right, I'm going to pick all the ones who have the same sign and add them together. And then subtract my 21. So 21 minus 21 gives me 0. And then finally, this last one. For this last one, you'll need to remember that it is okay to have 0 divided by a number, but you cannot have a number divided by 0. You cannot have a 0 on the bottom, otherwise it's undefined. So the very first step is to multiply my negative 2 times 3 and get negative 6. Then we'll divide. Then we'll do the other parentheses, which is 12 times 0. And so now we are still having our parentheses, so we need to do this in parentheses. 0 divided by a number, that is this one. 0 divided by a number is 0. And then finally, we have negative 6 divided by 0, which would be this one. So that means our answer is going to be undefined. I would like for you to do those 2 problems and turn them into class.